Yo!
Yes, yes, yes. What's good?
Yes, bro.
Yes.
What's going on? Let me fix up my camera.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the same.
1 second, bro. 1 second. Yeah, we're live, bro.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. How you been?
Why being all cool in that, bro?
Yes, yes, yes. What do you want to do?
Yes, yes, yes.
Listen. How you been?
Yeah, good, man. Good. Today's been a busy day, man. Just like a lot of calls and, congratulations and all that good stuff. So,
Yeah, big congratulations.
Man. Say again?
I said congratulations, man.
Oh, big ups, bro. Big ups, man. Do you know what it is? It's just like, yeah, bro. I guess, the times we're in at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, bro. As I said, man, as much as it brings me joy, you want it to bring other people joy as well. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, man, it's a big deal for myself, but I know there's other people as well. So, of course, man. Of course, bro. Me have to give thanks, brother. Me have to give thanks, brother.
Yeah, I'll check it then. So,
yeah.
What's the ultimate goal for you? Because you just keep winning stuff, innit?
Do you know what? Ultimate goal is just like, I guess it's like you want to build like a foundation that sets up everyone else coming through. Do you see what I'm saying, bro?
I hear that.
So, do you know what I mean? It's not like, obviously, like going on TV and Netflix, like this stuff is all good, innit? But like, if you're not like, for me, is just to one, obviously give back to my community as well. But at the same time, you want to like build foundations and, like, so everyone else coming through that, the next people who are going to do their shows and whatnot, they have something to look upon and say, oh, bro, like, get me, I see my man do it, I can do it as well. Do you see what I'm saying?
I hear that.
Very important. Do you know what I mean? Because as I said, man, once you're in this industry, other things will happen and come along and stuff like that. But I guess in the long run, I got asked a question which was like, what do you want your legacy to be? And I was like, rah, I don't know.
It's a big question, isn't it?
Yeah, I never thought of it. Until that person actually said it, that made me think, rah, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I swear Mo sounds half road, half posh. What? You know what it is, yeah? I don't know.
You could switch it up, though.
When you talk a bit properly, they're like, nah, bro, you sound like a white guy, Bro, I swear, black people always do this shit. Nah, bro, you sound like a white guy, bro. What is that? What even is that, bro? Oh, man. You ever said that? You ain't learned nothing this week, You ain't learned nothing, man.
Well, you know what's good, though? You know what's good? One thing I say about you, though, when you've been coming up to Manchester for the shows, is the fact that you're not restricted, you're universal. I feel like when I was doing shows, I could take you anywhere and you'd adapt.
No, do you know what it is, though? I think you have to. In comedy, like me and all my fellow comics, that you have to adapt. Like, I've done shows in the most hoodest of hood places, innit?
Like,
I have to adapt, like, to the man them, innit? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, but then I've done shows in places that are mad affluent as well. Do you know what I mean? Where people have a lot of wealth and stuff. Obviously, I still have to be myself, but you have to adapt to the surroundings you're in. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I hear that.
You know what I mean? Like,
what's it like? What's it like, though, being a black comedian coming up in the game, though?
No, do you know what it is? If I'm honest, it's sometimes if I'm honest, it's quite lonely, bruv, because you go to these things like BAFTA and stuff and these award things, but you kind of look for the man them. Do you know what I mean? All the gal them. Do you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, like, there's some people I've met through the award shows. I'm like, bro, what, brother? Yeah, man, I see your thing, man. Like, so sometimes it does feel quite lonely, if I'm honest. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Like sometimes, I go to award shows or you go to TV stuff, and it's true. Like as soon as you see, like I remember when I went to the BAFTAs, Samson KO, Tommy Mucci was there. Yeah. And as soon as I seen him, I said, "What, man? We don't see it. What? Susan that? Yeah. I don't need that either." So yeah, man. But as I said, there's also like a lot of pressure that comes with it.
That was my next question. How's it like? Because it feels like when you're on TV, you're representing us.
Bro, I'm representing all of the black community in it. Like,
yeah.
But as well as that, I'm also representing all the ethnic minorities at the same time. Do you see what I'm saying? because like me and you know that when there's like someone that looks like us on TV, that's a moment. I've got my snacks, you know, the road man, big man. I got my spliff tonight. I'm ready to sit down, watch Mo and Nasty. Like, so it is definitely a moment. I got a little hair. It's definitely like a huge moment. So yeah, man, of course that comes with pressure. You know what I mean? You want to represent your community the best that you can on TV. Do you see what I'm saying? So, you know, when you're showing off our community, you're like, raw, man. Like, you know, you see the audiences of people from all types of backgrounds as well. So when people see it on TV, they say, oh, raw, cool, man. Oh, raw, this is okay. You know, people who might not know an insight to our community. Do you see what I mean? So when they see it, we're celebrating all of the Black community. We're celebrating the African community, the Caribbean community. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not. So when you see it on TV, you're like, oh wow, this is cool, man. That's the people that haven't seen it. But the people that know the community, they just like, oh yeah, man. They know when they watch him on TV, they're like, yeah, that's Mo, innit? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
He's being himself. So
true.
Yeah, you have to be true to yourself, man. 100%, bro.
You see when you tweeted Channel 4 the other day.
Yeah.
I've just said anything.
Well, yeah. Like, I had conversations with them.
Because most people want to do that.
Yeah. What it is, yeah. The good thing was, after I put it out, I had a conversation with them.
Okay.
And I let them know where I felt and why I said it. And the positive thing is action was taken very quickly.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, you know, they're going to start producing a series of short films, you know, for filmmakers, to, you know, with everything that's going on and stuff, which is what that's what you want to see. You want to say needed though and see it.
That's the difference.
It's not just, oh, okay, all right, cool, man, sweet. So yeah, man, we had a conversation, and the thing is, I had to call out. I had to call out the TV industry, but I would be a hypocrite if I didn't include Channel 4 at the same time.
I hear you.
Because people would say, oh, so why did you mention them? But you, what about the people you work for? I would be a massive hypocrite. So that's why I said what I said. And at the same time, it's also like, yeah, the landscape must change. It can't just be, oh, that's the Black guy on the show. The token Black guy, the token Asian guy. Like, why can't there be 3 Black people on the couch at once?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Because that's when we see change, when you're like, raw, raw, they got 2 Black people on the show. And that is not, that's not a change, bro. In my opinion, that's not a change. It's a change when you see a lineup and you're like, oh, raw, okay, they got Kevin Hart on here, they got someone else, and that's when you're like, oh, okay, cool, man. Yeah, but also massive things need to change. Like, you know, having a Black female comedian, you know, host a show. Do you know, those things need to change as well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man, as I said, man, there's so much change that needs to happen. It's not going to happen overnight, but I need to, like, you know, people say you have a platform, use it. And this is what you do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand not everyone can do what I've done because, you know, it depends where you are in yourself. You know, some people got mortgages, so they don't feel as safe to say what I said. Do you know what I mean? But we don't know what's going on in the background as well. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people in the background that are trying to make changes. You know, just because they haven't come out and said something, don't mean they're not in the boardroom trying to make changes as well. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah, man, as I said, man, like, I stand by what I said, and hopefully, yeah, man, there will be some change. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, look how much people was watching Love Island, and then, like, we were like, rah, they got 3 Black people on Love Island. This is a win. Like,
it's a big thing, isn't it?
It's
a big thing.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
It's a big thing. Whilst we're here anyway, a Black female host that's good is Camilla, that hosts the lounge. Camilla, 5 stars.
Yeah, man.
Great host.
I think it's her birthday as well recently. So happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Cam. Great host.
Yeah, man.
Right, so check it. I'm going to work backwards. So you're at Channel 4 now, yeah? See, for us in Manchester, yeah, I can't say we really have that many Black comedians, Black urban, whatever you want to call it. We don't really have many like that. So how did you even come up with the mind of, like, I'm going to be a comedian?
Do you know what it is? It's like, I was just funny, but I didn't know how to turn it into doing stand-up. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
People would always say, "Rah, bruv, you're funny, man. Like, you should do stand up." But I was like, how do you start in this field? Where do you go to? What is it? Is there like a club? Is there like, I didn't know how to start. And until some people showed me this is direction, what you do, you try this, then I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, like, there's other things I'm good at, but I think for me, it was like the way that I would see comedy, and then the way that I could tell it to people, and you start finding your voice, you're like, oh, okay, you don't find this funny too. Okay, cool. And I think that's just where I kind of I just got it and ran with it. You know, I seen the world in a different way and explained it how I find it funny. But you know, when people start finding you funny, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like you guys get it too. You know.
So what was the process in going to your first gig? What was your first gig anyway? I don't even know that about you.
You know what? I got two first gigs. Yeah.
Okay.
One of the first gigs was a friend of mine. He had a wedding. Big up Tyrone. I used to go to college with Tyrone. And he said to me, "Oh, look, you know, my auntie's got a wedding. Do you want to do comedy?" You know, Tyrone was always like, "Bro, it's funny. You should try it." So, yeah, I just thought, you know, I'll try it. Like, I was always watching Def Jams and stuff back in the day, innit?
Makes sense. So, me too. Yeah.
That was like my my go-to of how you do stand-up, innit? Like, and plus I'm seeing people like me, like, and I'm like, oh, rah, okay, yeah, man. These are black people. Like, I never seen black people talk like this, especially in stand-up. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, man. I had a little notepad. I've written a notepad, and I wrote like loads of jokes in the notepad. And then yeah, he was just like, yeah, man, we got some comedy. Give it up for Mo. And I went up there, and it actually went all right. Saying that, it went quite well. I had a little 5-minute set. People laughed. And it's so weird when you get your first laugh, because sometimes you get laughs in places you didn't know you was going to get laughs at.
I hear that.
So you're performing, and you're like, oh, rah, you don't find that funny? Yeah. I didn't make that up just now. It was a gig I'd done. What gig was it? Oh, yeah, it was a gig at a place called Dulwich Hamlet. And yeah, man, amazing gig, man. Like, I took, like, basically a family friend of ours used to work at the Adventure Playground. Guy called David. And then yeah, he just said, look, boom, I'll do a little small comedy night. Do you want to come and do a little set? So I was like, yeah, cool, man. So I invited all my friends. Like, I said, you got to come to this thing. I'm doing stand up. So my friends are like, yeah, man, we're there. Like, imagine they've been telling me to do stand up as well, innit? So okay, yeah, I'm 100% there. And I remember there was a comedian hosting it. And then there was me in the middle with another lady, and we was only doing 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Yeah. So like, yeah, we're gonna big up this guy. You know, it's his first time on the stage. His name's called Mo. Yeah. So then I've gone on the stage. I was only meant to do 10 minutes, maybe like 5 minutes. Yeah. I done like 25 minutes. Yeah, because people were laughing, innit? And there was a lot of my friends there, but it's like they weren't giving me sympathy laughs. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like, you know them ones, innit?
Bro, like, they were like, and I know when my friends are laughing or not, innit? My friends are quite truthful, like, nah, big man, that one's not funny, you know? So, yeah, man, like, I had a lot of my friends that come down, or people that would go to this comedy night. And yeah, that for me felt like my first taste, because I was like, right, I prepared the jokes. And yeah, man, it was a big deal, bro. I'll be honest, it was a huge deal, man.
What does comedy do for you?
Like, when you tell a joke, like, it's a huge adrenaline rush.
Okay.
Like, of like, raw. For me, this is for me. I don't know for every other comic, but for me, it's like, raw. They find this funny. And then sometimes, imagine telling a joke and they're laughing, and then you tell another one and they're like, raw, that one's funny as well. So for you, like, and then you start to develop a style. So once you get like, you know, you're confident to tell jokes, then you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, then I know what my style is. So once you get your style, that gives you an angle of how you want to start telling your jokes as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, as I said, man, like, comedy for me, it's therapy as well.
I hear that.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's times where I've been like, you know, bored. I've been a bit flat. You know what I mean? And then I go to a comedy gig. I might be only doing like 10, 15 minutes. And then boom, like, everyone's laughing with me. And I always say laughter is contagious, where like they're laughing, I start laughing, and then my mood is just just picked up. So yeah, man, it's also therapy for a lot of comics as well, you know.
What's been I can say now. What's been your biggest challenge? Because you made it look so. You made over the last couple of years. You made it look so easy with the snaps and the videos, the shows. So to someone looking outside, it might just look like, oh, this is just easy for a minute.
I guess you know what it is. It's like, I guess the two challenges I think I've always faced is one, when you're a comic, it is trying to break out into the mainstream, essentially. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's going from, oh, what happened there, bruv?
No, sorry, my bad, sorry.
No, it's cool. Now, I think it's going from, like, how do I go from the clubs and how can I get myself, like, to a wider audience? How do I get myself on TV? How do I push myself to the masses, essentially? That's always a huge challenge. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess for me, another challenge is, how do I keep developing the style? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do I keep evolving as a comic? Do you know what I mean? Because essentially people will find things that they're like, oh, I like Mo because I like this, I find this funny, I find that funny. But like everyone else, you grow older, you have different life experiences. So you look at challenging ways of like, oh, bro, maybe I want to start, you know, telling jokes about this, or maybe I want to start, you know, having material about that. So I think that's always going to be a challenge of mine, but one I like that challenge as well at the same time.
You know what I mean? Yeah. What's been your biggest win?
Biggest win? Oh, I don't know. I've got to say, it's got to be the Netflix was a big deal, man. It's a huge deal on so many fronts of just like, you know, it was under my production company. Like, I don't think people realize that, like, with the Netflix special, like how it came to be of like, we already filmed one, right? And we've done it and stuff, you know, and the conversations were happening. Apart from Netflix and stuff. And you have to be patient. You have to be so patient. You're like, because you're just like, nah, man, everyone's got to see it. I'll put it on YouTube now. But it's the patience of like, okay, cool, let's wait out. You know, let's wait and see. You know, so that was a massive deal for me. And that kind of, it took me from, you know, it always felt like, boom, you're out there in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, on the biggest platform, and yeah, you're there. You're not lost in the algorithms. You know, you're like, bro, how can I find, man? Like,
it's a power move.
It's a power move. It wasn't like that. You know what I mean? It was like, boom, you're right there on the front. I remember going on it like everyone else, and I see me like, rah, that's me.
Yeah.
Like, that's
powerful,
me,
man.
bro. So that was a huge deal, man. And obviously, as a comic, a special is huge. Like every comic, you know, it's like, you got to remember, like, with that Netflix special, that's like 10 years worth of material and work that went into that. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot that went in it, like, and had to change. I mean, I don't, you see, like, you see, the thing is, yeah, like, I remember the day before, we was at Hackney Empire, and, bro, there's like me, my manager, there's a lighting guy, there's some other people from Netflix there, and we're all deciding the color of the lights on the background. And you know, it's like, yeah, should we put it orange? No. A little bit, keep it more of like a blue tone in it. No. Okay, what do you think? Yeah, I like that. Actually, why don't we put a hint of green? Like, these are the conversations that go into making a special. Like, you see the floor was shiny. Yeah, when you do like the camera run, it was like, no, we can't have a shiny floor. So the floor had to get painted a day before.
Really?
Like, yeah, like, obviously it's like a floor that they bring in, you know, it's like a stage floor. But these are the small things that go into it, where the cameras are. Like, we had to do the show twice. So we done the show in the afternoon, and then we done the show again in the evening. And yeah, it's like, you know, and then after it's done, then you've got the cuts. It's cool. This is the first draft. I sat there, I watch it. Now you're taking notes, watch what bits should change, that camera angle. I was involved in the whole process, because it's like, I'm putting myself out there, innit? I have to be involved in this whole
Yeah,
process.
definitely. Because it's your image.
Yeah, you know, where I look at the camera and stuff. Like, I'm very involved in that stuff. Like, when I'm
You're very
performing,
particular anyway.
yeah, if I'm performing, cool, I tell this joke, I look in camera 2. Then immediately I got to look in camera 4, and then I got to go back. Like, that's the kind of, like, things that go into just a special. Like, as much as people see it and they're like, oh, it's just jokes. So for me, that was a huge deal, you know. And because it was under the production company, you know, my manager helped work on it. He got the cameras in, the right cameras, all this kind of stuff means a lot to me. And then when it goes out there and people appreciate it, you're like, thank you guys so much. Like, I can't tell you, when people like something that you put so much effort in, it's like, rah, man, like, that really means a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, that. Yeah. So most probably that. And then, yeah, the TV show, man. Like, getting my own TV show, 10 o'clock on Channel 4, was like, bruv, like, as I said, I'll never forget the day it happened, because the day I got offered the TV show, this, I came into Channel 4, I didn't have a clue who was, I didn't have a clue what I was going in there for. It was just, yeah, we were having a meeting with 4. And then, yeah, Saida, who was the commissioner at Channel 4 at the time, she said, yeah, man, like, we love to give you a show. We love what you do. We think you've got an amazing future ahead of you. We've also got a show, Big Nasty, as well. If you'd like to be involved in that. And then, bruv, like, you see that moment after I left, I knew that, like, my life had changed, basically.
Crazy.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it was a big step for me to leave retail as, like, my little part-time thing, because retail was a safety net, innit? Of, like, yeah, boom, like, this is my safety net. And I always thought one day I might have to go back. Do you know what I mean? I might have to go back. Like, I wasn't trying to go back. Yo, big man, like, is there any, like, still cream, like, vacancies?
It's long, so,
I think that's why that was such a big deal to me. So yeah, and the TV show, what went into it, it took close to like 2 years to make sure we had it right, the tone, how it looks, you know, conversations of like what I'm gonna wear, like, you know what I mean? These are the conversations you have, like, yeah, we kind of want Mo in a suit. I'm like, I don't really want to wear a suit. And then I'm like, cool, what about if I wear a suit, but I get them tailored and I can wear some crepes, like make it look kind of smart cash. Perfect. Like, these are the things that go on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? No one would ever know this, but when you see what goes into some of these shows, and you see it, and then you watch it, and then people tell you in the street, bro, like, man, watches your thing, like, really enjoyed it, man. Or like, you know, I try to go into some of the prisons and talk to some of the guys in there, you know. And yeah, when I go in there, they're like, nah, bruv, your thing, Nasty's thing, bruv, everyone in the prison watches that, you know, blood. Man's got their snacks and stuff. Bruv, do you know how gas that is when I go in there, bruv? Like, it probably means a lot, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I can watch it.
Bruv, I'm telling you, when I walk in, you know, sometimes I try and talk to the guys, like, there's a radio station they do there, you know, going to Feltham, talk to some of the guys in there. Yeah, bruv, you got like the man that, nah, Mo, your thing, bruv, I swear, everyone in the prison, everyone gets their snacks, man are talking. I was like, hey, swear down. Thank you.
What? So you see the details, yeah, you see all these details, right? And you mentioned your manager. How important and when should people start thinking about managers? How key are they in the process?
I think for me, it's like, I was with my manager like years, like long before like things started popping for me, if I'm honest. You know what I mean? So I think for me, it's like, you know, I had a good friend of mine. He was managing me, Marvin Harrison. He was managing me, always helped me out, gave me advice. You know, I always felt when I came into this kind of industry, I didn't know about it. I didn't know, like, how much do I charge if I'm doing a set? Like, yeah. You know, I was just happy to perform in it. And he always helped me in making sure I didn't get bumped. You know, never took any money from me as a performer. Just made sure, like, you know, if you need someone to email, I'll be the person that emails and sorts it out and stuff. So always got a big up Marvin Harrison. But I think for me, I remember being I done CBBC, yeah? And I was in a really, that weird transitional period where I think I must have been maybe like 25 maybe. And I said, you know, I need help now. Like, I didn't know, like, how do you do a headshot, for example? Because I got CBBC without having an agent. So I was on CBBC. I didn't have any agent. And I was just on TV, but I didn't have an agency. I didn't have headshots. I kind of, you know, when I got that job, I was like, oh, right, how did I get this job? And then that's where I kind of met my manager at the time, who, you know, my manager, Polly, and her husband, Gelly, and they were just starting their management company. You know, they already managed Dane Baptiste at the time. And I just needed direction. I didn't even need management. I just said, look, I need help of, like, I need to, like, how can I get into, like, comedy, but kind of perform to the mainstream? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'd be, like, performing in the black circuit, you know, doing the uni circuit and stuff. But I was always a person, I was like, I want to perform everywhere.
Yeah,
even
of course.
I'll perform to, like, 5 pub guys in a room, but I will want to try, innit? Let me just try. Like,
yeah.
So,
see if it works.
You know, we sat down and I started again. You know, I literally started again. I started building my 5 minutes up. Started building my 10 up. You know, this is what they always said was important. And I think the early stages of management for me was having someone that could help me, you know, direct myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, how, you know, to develop me as well. And even then, like, when we did have management, you know, then K Cud, he joined the management as well. And we still had to do everything ourselves. And I think I tried to tell this to a lot of young people, is like, don't get management if you want them to do everything for you. Like, still do things yourself. You know, management are there is when it gets almost too on top. And that's when you need someone to step in and help you, you know, sort out, you know, where you're going to be for this show and X, Y, Z. But, you know, me and Kay, I remember we, you know, like, we both signed, both on the same management. And, you know, yeah, our manager said, yeah, guys, you're going to Edinburgh. So we're like, yeah, cool. You know, like, yeah, you got to get a listing and pay, and we had to get our own money, and we didn't have no manager handout, you know what I mean? Like, of someone telling us, yeah, man, like, you know, like, you guys got to do this and we're going to pay for it. We have to do it all ourselves. And I think that was the really crucial thing I learned about management is, you know, at that stage, we were still doing it ourselves. Still a lot of things I still try and do for myself at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think for me, like, management really, like, helped when it came to things like, you know, helping me start up a production company and all some of these things that sometimes talent are not too sure how to do. That's sometimes where management are key in that situation, you know. But it's also like having the right people behind you. And sometimes people think management have to be this big, like this big company who's like, yeah, we're a manager. Like, bro, like your brother could manage you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I think sometimes people forget that, like, you know, sometimes the whole, yeah, I'm a manager. Do you want to be famous? Bro, stay away from that guy, innit? Like, doing the most. Because them guys see money, innit? And they know they see money. But sometimes it's like, the person that can be your manager could be like your sister, could be your brother. You hear it in football where footballers' agents are their dad and stuff. And I think that's what's really, really important with management, you know, someone who has your best interest at heart, and, you know, they want to achieve the best for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, I think what's really important with you know, my management, and I'm very lucky to have it, is they're not just managers, they're kind of friends at the same time. You know, if I'm not feeling up to it, I'm feeling down, I can say, do you know what, guys, I don't feel like doing this show today, and they get it and they understand it. It's not someone like, come on, man, we got to work. You know what I mean? So yeah, big up UTC, man. Trust me.
Okay. Right, okay then. So to go back a bit about Channel 4.
Yeah.
What do you think it was that got Channel 4's attention?
Well, so before, like, so basically it was a different type to MCs, yeah? And then that was like the thing that kind of went viral. That kind of got people's attention. You know, I started doing more stuff. Then I done the tour. So I was already like, you know, I had a small pilot with a production company that Channel 4 were interested, you know, and they were looking at, oh, okay, cool. You know, we can maybe, you know, look at it as a pilot, you know, because most times you do TV, you have to do a pilot for you to get the commission, so they can see what they're going to commission, if that makes sense.
Okay.
You know, it's very rare that they just say, unless you've done TV, then they'll just, yeah, we'll give it a commission. But the majority of times you have to do a pilot so they can see where the changes are and
So,
stuff.
so what you're saying, you have to create something first?
Yeah, basically, because then it gives them a product of like, oh, okay, this is it. This is it. Okay, cool. They can see where they can make changes in, and then they can say, oh, okay, cool. So sometimes, you know, you hear scripts go through sometimes 3 or 4 pilots. Sometimes it's a little bit different in the script world because scripts take years. Like, you know, some of your favorite sitcoms, most will be take like 3-4 years to finally get on TV. So, yeah, you know, I was making this pilot. It was a program we was making with a production company. You know, we done the first one, then it kind of changed. So I was kind of like, you know, I've been to Channel 4 a couple times. Do you know what I mean? Like, nothing certified. You're getting a show. It was just like, oh, we're working on this small pilot. You know, it's kind of changing here. You know, we gave it to another channel. This was the maddest thing. We gave it to the pilot we made. We gave it to another channel. They wasn't interested. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a pie, you know.
Yeah. I'm not going to blast their name because that's not professional, but they wasn't interested. Yeah. So, you know, Channel 4 was like, oh, cool. This is something that, you know, we can maybe, you know, like see where we can put it maybe short form. That's something that can live online, maybe on YouTube, maybe putting it on E4, for example, you know, maybe get a couple series and stuff. So 4 was quite interested, but it was the tour. The tour was what got a lot of people's attention because when the Cut the Cans tour was out, like I didn't have any promo. I didn't pay for a penny of promo. That was all via social media. So, you know, we do one show, it sells out in like 1 minute. And sometimes, you know, when I was selling out these shows, people thought it was lies. Nah, man, this is fake blood. This is fake blood. This is to sell more tickets, bro.
Fake news, yeah.
Tickets were selling in like 2 minutes, 1 minute. I was like, oh, bro, okay, this is a bit mad. So we had another show, sells out in another minute. And then before you know it, we're going all around the country and, you know, like a big up Live Nation because they're the one who was like, cool, man, we'll be your promoter. And yeah, man, let's do it. So, you know, we only added maybe like 10 shows, I think it was. And yeah, bro, like literally, like I remember waking up the day when tickets went on sale and London sold out in 2 minutes. And then, yeah, just hearing that, because you get the stats within the first like hour or two. And I remember I went to a festival that day. I went to a festival and I remember this guy said to me, yeah, man, what's going on, Mo? Yeah, man, I'm going to get tickets for your show. And I was like, yeah, man, they sold out today. What? No, man. I said, yeah, bro, they sold out today. Oh, man. Oh, bro, you got to add some more tickets, man. So that was the first time I was like, oh, bro, people really want to come to see me do comedy. Bearing in mind, the majority of people following me at that time didn't know I even done stand-up comedy. They just seen the sketches like, cut the cans, wheel up the blood clot dribbling. Like, they didn't really know. So a lot of people coming was buying tickets and like, big man, I don't know what this is gonna be, you know. He might just say a couple cans per hour. So yeah, and then through that we added another date, and you know, like these venues were like, you know, 300-400s, you know, and then Birmingham, it was like Birmingham Academy, you know, not a small room, 1,000 people, and I was like, whew, this is. You know, every time these tickets were going on sale, I was like, "Phew, I don't know about this one, guys. Maybe, maybe we should stop." This is quite a big one, guys. And then Birmingham, 1,000 people sold out. And the weird thing is, people from London was coming. People said, "Yeah, man, we came up for the weekend." You know what I mean? Me and my girlfriend. And that's when I was like, "Wow, okay, this ain't just a jinx. This ain't just like." So with that, people wanted to come, so we just added more tickets. We just added Birmingham. You know, Manchester sold out. So when we had that first phase, in my head, I was like, yeah, I think that's it. I think it's done, innit? And then, you know, Live Nation said, well, what about if we had some more dates? And I said, I don't know if people are gonna come, you know. Like I remember sitting down, yeah, we was on tour, and I sat down and I was like, I don't know, man. They said, no, trust me. Like, we just add a couple dates. This is when we was gonna be this is the second batch of dates now, the extension, yeah. They said, yeah, we're going to add 12 London dates. I said, what? 12 London dates? Nah, bro. I said, 12 London dates. Bro, you're trying to mash me up in the
Trying to pick
12 London dates. I said, nah. I said, maybe 2, but 12? bro. I'll never forget that Sunday. We was on, me, K Kurd, my friend Emmanuel, Javan, the tour manager, and my friend Kyle. We're on our way to Liverpool for a show, yeah? Bruv, I sold out 8 shows in a matter of like 2 hours. And then we added the rest of the other shows. That's when I was like, wow. Okay, this is now real. This is actually really happening. Because it's very easy to be in it and you don't really know what's going on. So you're like, I don't know if this is happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people are coming, but are they going to be there on the day? Do you know what I mean? And yeah, bro, honestly, like, it blew my mind away, bro. I'm not going to lie. Like the support was mad. And you know what I really appreciate about the support? It was so genuine and authentic. Do you know what I mean? Like, I always done pictures after the shows and stuff like that. And people coming out saying, yeah, man, I see your thing, man. You know what I mean? I bought a ticket. We traveled from London, or I love your videos. Like, they cheer me up. And yeah, man, for me, it was like, whoa, like, rah, like, it was really something where, you know, it's hard when you're touring, because you want to know, like, oh, how did you hear about me? Like, how did you find out coming? It's not just like, yeah, we was bored, seen the night out, and we came. It was like people who were like, mate, like, I got a cousin that lives in Liverpool, so I'm staying here for the weekend just for your show. When people tell you that is so mad, bro. When people tell you stuff like that, you're like, oh my gosh, like, thank you so much. That's what you want to say to them, like, thank you so much for coming. I hope you have enjoyed it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, like, I think that was when I realized that, you know, like, rah, this is really happening. And that was what got a lot of attention from, you know, the TV channels, if I'm honest. You know what I mean?
Okay. So obviously a lot of it stems from social media, and obviously everyone's always trying to crack social media. Obviously, you're relentless with social media, the way you can just post videos, etc. What social media strategy tactics would you give to people?
Do you know what, with social media, right? Oh, like, it's so hard because every genre has a different, like, way to, like, crack social media. But the thing is, I've always said is, like, use every social platform. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, maybe even TikTok. If you're a musician, get your music on TikTok. Like that's just a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Ask people, yo, man, use my song on a TikTok or something like that. So yeah, I think if you're a musician, it's to use all the platforms to your benefits. You know, there's some platforms, you know, like, for example, I'm a comic, so things like Pinterest is not, like, there's no point me doing a Pinterest. You know what I mean? Like, but if you're interior designer, on the other hand, or you want to get into it, that's perfect for you. That is your platform. You know what I mean? I guess as well, it's so hard. I think what I've always used when it comes to social media is, like, using social media as, like, when I used to post videos, for example, I used to post it on every platform at the same time. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. A lot of people neglect Facebook, but Facebook is one of the best ways to get shared. People really neglect it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, no, by the way, I'm not dissing Pinterest. Someone said don't diss Pinterest. I'm not dissing it. It's sick. Like, for interior design, it's sick. But for me, you don't want to see me on there. There's no point. Like, you know what I mean? But I think Facebook is a great tool. It's been really good for me. I think YouTube as well. Don't neglect YouTube. But also, like, if you're going to put your stuff on different platforms, use ways to use different platforms in a different way. You know, like, I'd still put my videos on every platform, but then, for example, like, YouTube has more the behind the scenes stuff that you wouldn't see on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? Like, Twitter, that's just me, like, that's just my thoughts, what I think about certain stuff. You know what I mean? Instagram is where a lot of my videos are. Facebook is like a mixture of all three of those. So yeah, man, I think definitely, like, utilize what you have, and try and learn new skills. You know what I mean? If you're looking at how can you maximize your music videos, look at editing them yourself. For example, if there's a style you want, you know, I started learning how to use Final Cut and green screen when we was in the lockdown. I've had a green screen for about a year, never ever used it until we was in the lockdown. And the majority of the videos that have come out in the last 2 months have all been at my house on the green screen. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that was just me. I didn't know how to use it. The first video I ever done was all myself, was the match of the day one. the Roadman one I done.
That was joke. Hilarious.
Yeah, but that was just me, like, bro, let me just try this thing. Let me try it. You know what I mean? And you can use these things on your phone as well. Do you know what I mean? Remember, all these videos I've made is in my phone, in my bedroom. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes people think that you need the best equipment ever to produce stuff, and it's like, trust me, you don't. And you wanna, you know, I always wanna let people know how I make stuff, and the reason why I still do videos on my phone, because if you're a young kid watching, I want you to know that this is accessible to you. Do you know what I mean? Powerful. You know, even with, like, I don't want, I have access to cameras and I can make really cool videos, but I'm like, if you're the young kid watching and you're at school and you're like, bro, I want to do what Mo does, and you see these mad effects and they look cool, bro, that's not accessible, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? That's not accessible. Like, and the maddest thing is, you know, when I've done that Match Day video, like, there was people like, nah, man, the editing could be better. I was like, bro, I need it to look like that, bro. Like, because I edited this.
It doesn't always have to be perfect.
You know what I mean, bro? And I think some people sometimes forget that. If you're a producer, you know what I mean? Like, show people how to make beats, man. Don't just make beats. Show people, yeah, I'm going to make a beat. If you want to make a beat, do it like this. Try that sound, man. You know, knowledge is key, man. You know what I mean? Like,
it's important to share those type of jewels, because I guess that's when people become more fans of your work, because they see the process behind it and what you have to do. So,
yeah, no, I think, you know, like, you know, the funniest, like, my videos, if you break it down, it's me in my house with a camera, a couple of wigs. That's what it is, really. You know what I mean? Like, and as I said, like, someone just commented trial and error of 100%. It's got
yes.
You know what I mean? I've done videos I'm like, this is dead. No one can see this. like I'm not naive in thinking, nah, all the videos bang, put it on Instagram, 100,000 views. Nah, man, not at all, man. I'm still trying to perfect every video I'm trying to make, bro. Every video I see, I'm still nervous when I put it out. Well, people like this. I don't know. I'm taking down videos because I don't think they're funny. Bro, you know what's bad, yeah? I done a video the other day, yeah? It was like, I think the caption was when kids are eating, or what your phone sees when kids eat. And it was like Cavani eating like fruit or something, yeah? And I thought, this is so funny, yeah? This is gonna bang in it. Bro, I was like, nah, this ain't it. bro, that video got taken down in like an hour, bro. I said, nah. I got a certain quality. This isn't it, bro. I got to take this down now.
Yeah. Do you find that pressure though? Like, because obviously now you're kind of like the main guy, but before you was the underdog, in it.
No, do you know what it is? I guess for me, it's like, I always want to find ways that I can make my videos better. Like, you know, same with my comedy, same with what I do on TV. I always want to make it better. So I put pressure on myself, like, because, you know, people, you know, there's people who are like, oh, I love Cavani, man. Do another one, man. And I sit there, I'm like, bro, I'll do one still. And I'm sitting there scratching my head like, I don't know if this is funny, though. I don't know, bruv. Like, you know? So, yeah, I think it's, you know, that when I was doing videos, yeah, like, when I was first doing a couple of cans and stuff, it was fun because, like, you're not worried. You're just like, boy, no one even knows me, innit? Like, like, I have nothing to lose. You know, I have nothing to lose. I remember Michael Dapper as well. He was doing videos as well. So he was like my friend I could talk to. So, you know, we often sit down on the phone and be like, oh, bro, yeah, have you got a tripod? Yeah, I got a tripod too. Like, how you find the videos? Or we get invited to the same events and stuff. Oh, bro, you got invited to Adidas? Yeah, me too, bro. Yeah, Mum, see you there tomorrow and stuff. So, you know, like, as you get more successful, it becomes harder. Because now people are like, all right, cool. Like, well, what's next then? Do you know what I mean? Like, you made me laugh. I know you're funny. You got Netflix and TV in it. So now it's even harder than it was back then. Because back then it was just fun. It was just like messing around. It's almost like in school where you're like, oh, I can fuck around, innit? Like, but now it's even harder because now there's people who, you know, you might see me on Netflix, for example. I don't know who you are. Follow this guy on Netflix. If I put a video out now, you're like, oh, who the fuck? Oh, cool, man. This is funny. So, yeah, man, it's even harder now, if I'm honest, you know.
Yeah, I can imagine. Also, as well, yeah, obviously you've become a brand yourself, but what's it like working with brands? And also things like little things I guess everyone needs to know, like the financial management side, all these little things that create the whole big pie. How important?
Yeah, man. Do you know what it is? It's like working with brands. It's always interesting because, like, I guess it's like I guess what you're looking for is like a partnership. Do you know what I mean? Like some of the brands I've worked with are like, I've worked with some of the biggest brands in the world, bruv. And sometimes it's still mind-boggling. You know, you work with brands and you're like, oh, bruh. Like, and some people wouldn't even know, you know, like you would never know and stuff. But I think the cool thing is like, you know, when a brand is like, oh, cool, we want you to do this or do that. I think it's, you know, it's always cool, man. You know what I mean? Whenever like there's like a brand thing, and sometimes you never know down the line, it could be a partnership that, you know, could run for years. You never know. You know, you really like never know and stuff. And I think I've been quite lucky that some of the brands I've worked with are still in contact with today. You know what I mean? Whether it's shows and stuff, or you know someone from a brand and stuff. But I think, you know, if you are an influencer, like don't look at like the brands as like, because you got to remember is like, you can't always look at the brands as like, oh, okay, I must work with brands. Do you know what I mean? Like have something to offer. Do you know what I mean? Like don't just be like a brand whore at the same time. Do you know what I mean, bro? Like have some decorum and loyalty as well.
Yeah,
you know? But as I said, at the same time, it's different because people they've all got bills to pay at the same time. You know, so I understand that at the same time. Do you know what I mean? But I think what's quite interesting with the situation we're in with lockdown is, you know, it's like if you've got like, if you know, like let's say for example, if your thing is like, you know, live shows, that's how you make your money. You want to look at other ways you can make an income from what you do. That's not just live shows. Might be a podcast, might be a clothing label. Always look at other avenues of income. Don't just rely on brands is what I do. That's how I make my money. Because if the brands stop, then you're sitting there like, bruh, man ain't got no food in the cupboard, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I hear it. I feel like the corona period has made people have to evaluate their business, innit? Their brands, because it stopped a lot of income.
Yeah, I think, you know what it is? It's like, I can't even say for myself. And you got to remember, like, with the situation, it's hard for people in so many different sectors and stuff. Because, you know, if your thing is fashion, you know, this economy can affect you. Because when people say, I ain't got money to buy your clothes and stuff. But yeah, I think, you know, when you look at a situation like now, like we were saying on the phone, it's like, you know, this was a chance for me to be like, boom, I need to do some new videos, a different type of, you know, that's why I started using green screen, you know what I mean? Or, you know, I've done like quarantine games, for example. And that was purely just for fun. Not like, I think
genius though.
It's just like, you just got to look at other ways of avenues of having what your creativity is and just expanding it. And like someone said before, it is literally trial and error. You know, if I didn't know quarantine, I just thought, look, let me just try to do some games online, innit? Someone might like it, they might not. And then through that, people liked it. That's when I said, right, let me buy a little wheel from Amazon. Cool. Bought the wheel. Then people was, yeah, man. Then I said, you know what? People really like this. I'll tell you what. I put my own money in it. I was buying a PlayStation 1 week.
Yeah, crazy.
I was buying something else because I could just see people liked it. And it was just like, you got to remember, them early days of lockdown, yeah? It's not finished, obviously, now, but people didn't know what to do. Like, it was like, what do I do? I've watched everything on Netflix. So for me, it was like, I just want vibes, innit? I've got to vibe with people somehow, innit? Let's just play a game, innit? So obviously, I've got the things set up. You know, I'd set it up like 2 hours before I get the speaker going. I plugged in the mic, and I'm like, rah, people have vibes in here. This is it. And yeah, man, that's literally why I done it, bro. It wasn't to be like, oh, cool, I'm gonna get something out of this. You know what I mean? Like, luckily, I was quite lucky that, you know, I was managed to get a TV show out of it. But if I didn't, I would have kept on doing it. The only reason why I don't do it now, because it takes so much effort, if I'm honest. Like, it started to become, like, a lot of effort because you got to set it up and stuff. I'm very, you know, my neighbours are really nice neighbours, so I didn't want to take the piss being loud every single week as well. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
Nah, I hear ya. I'm going to say to you as well, yeah? Obviously, you've been grinding for years, ages.
Yeah.
what keeps you going before these moments? Because obviously you've been doing this for like, I think we met back in 2007.
Yeah. I think for me, do you know what it was? It was just like, I think sometimes what people don't realize, when you do comedy, you go from being the guy who's on first. This is the new guy. You're first.
Yeah, special.
Cool. Like, I'm the new guy. Fair enough. You go on first, innit? No one knows who you are. When you perform, no one cares, innit? That is the reality of comedy. Like, when you're the new guy, yeah, big up the new guy. You're just there to kind of make up the numbers.
Fill the time, mate. Time fill up.
Yeah, man. Big up the new guy, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you perform, you do your thing, that's you done. Then you say to yourself, oh, that was good, man. I enjoyed that. Then you say, do you know what? I want a middle spot. Because a middle spot, you might get paid a little more, for example. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you're like, I want to do that again. For me, it's always been the love, innit? Like, I love doing comedy, innit? Like, I've found something that I found myself in. But at the same time, when I was doing it, it was the one thing I was good at. And plus, I could make an income from it. So it was like a double whammy. Do you know what I mean? Like, right, I can make money from this. And at the same time, I enjoy doing it. You know what I mean? This is what I like doing. So it was like, that was the drive at the same time. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man. You know what I mean? Like, you do middle spot. And then you always look, bro, man, I want to headline a show one day, man. I love to headline. And it's all those things that just keep you going to say, Bob, I just want to keep doing it and keep doing it. And yeah, man, I think that's the cool thing with what I've always found, with what I do stand up is, you know, when you are unknown, it's not about like fame. Do you know what I mean? Like, fame is almost like a bonus, if I'm honest. It's like, if you get famous, it's like, right, it's a bonus. But if you get to perform what you do every night and you love it, and then you say, right, this is what I make my income from, and I go home and I do what I pursue and what I want to have a career in, bro, nothing beats it, bro. Nothing absolutely beats it. And every comic will say, bro, like, I'll perform. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not worried about being famous. No comic is bothered about being famous, bro. No one comes into comedy trying to be famous, bro. Do you know what I mean?
The hard way to get famous?
Say again?
It's even a hard way to get famous?
Bro, it's so hard to be famous, bro. Do you know what I mean? But no comics out there being famous. You do it for the love. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, you go there, you bust some joke, and bro, it's a good vibe, bro. I tell you, man, doing comedies, and sometimes it doesn't go well, bro. Not all the time it goes well. You know?
I've seen that more than enough times.
Yeah, bro, sometimes it goes left. But that is sometimes what makes you want to carry on. All right, cool. That show was dead. I'm doing another show this week. Watch, I'm going to smash it. And that's what keeps you going. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you. I'm going to say, obviously, we go way back. How did you find doing shows in London than when you came to my shows, performing shows in Manchester?
I think sometimes London, yeah, and I've always said this, we're very spoiled.
Okay.
We have a lot of stuff going on all the time. I think that's what you find with London. There's always a comedy show. There's a rave going on all the time. So when I first got to perform outside of London, I didn't realize how much of a big deal it was to have this comedy show. Like, oh, boom, you know, we've got a comedy show. And yeah, like, I was like, rah, oh, okay, cool. Like, everyone who's, you know, is coming to this show. I said, wow, this is a big deal. And sometimes it was weird because the love you would get would outweigh what you'd ever get in London. You know, London, we have a bit of a slushness about ourselves. Yeah, well gone, big man. Yeah, you was good still. Literally, I've done where people say, yeah, blood, you're all right still. That's like a, bro. When people say that to you in London, that's a big deal, bro. For someone to come up to you and say, yo, big man, yeah, you was funny still. Like, this how I'm doing it, not smiling. Yeah, you was funny still. This is a huge deal, isn't it? So when you come to Manchester now, it's totally different. Hey, mate, where you from, mate? Mate, totally funny, mate. That joke, you think, talk to me. Oh, thank you. Like, yo, mate, nah, mate. Like, this is my wife, Sally, right? We don't normally come out, mate. We don't come comedy shows, mate. But she thought you were fantastic. Can we get a picture? And, bro, I'm not famous, bro. And someone will say, can I get a picture of me? I said, what, with me? 100%, bro. Of course, man.
Quick thing. Someone just asked me how long I've known you for.
How long? Well, hold on a sec. I'm trying to think now.
It was in Leeds first, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, you done the show in Leeds. Was it the Marcus Garvey Centre or something like that?
I don't know what it was called.
Yeah, something
like that.
something along that line. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that was like
where his ring light is from. My ring light is from, where is it from? Amazon? On the cheap. It's like £40. Banging though, innit? Got the skin moisturized.
These I love you, Lee. Getting all the difference.
I'll tell you what I use.
Manchester accent. Sorry, go on.
I use this cream, yeah? It's called Mind Your Business, yeah? So you put it on. Nah, I joke. Now, I use, you know, there's a brand called Kiehl's. Have you heard of it? It's all like natural, not tested on animals or nothing like that. So that's, I'm quite sensitive skin in it, so that's the only one I can really use. Cocoa butter makes my skin too shiny, bruv. Looking like a chipolata and that. So yeah.
Mo, we'll get back into it anyway. But,
yeah, man.
Manchester and London. You say London people are more stush, basically.
Nah, London people. It's just that we have so much going on, and we just have a stushness by default. Does that make sense? Like, this is by default. We don't even mean to. Like, no, I don't mean everyone in London though. But when you do some of the black shows here, this is stushness by default. So yeah, man. When I've done shows out of London, and I can mention Manchester, Birmingham, Wolverhampton, Bristol, Cardiff, all those places. Oh man, they give you so much proper love. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to explain. You know what I mean? Other places in the country do, but those places I mentioned, they just, yeah, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, they didn't give yo, man, like, yo, you're funny, bro. Yo, blood. Yo, blood. These man are funny, blood.
I heard that too, man. I heard that too. So, okay, so talking about the crowds. Obviously, I work with a lot of people that do entertainment in it. So, what's the difference between London entertainers and Manchester entertainers? And one thing I rate you for, yeah, is that even when you come to Manchester, you don't have that you don't think like, I'm too big to share the stage with these people up and coming.
Nah.
Which you could easily do.
Nah, bruv, not at all, man. I don't really know. I think like what I've always liked about Manchester, yeah, is like, you know, you can get a guy who's a singer and people are coming out for this guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, he'll have his family there, his friends will be there supporting him. And I think that's one thing I've always seen in Manchester where I'm like, rah, man. Like, that's so sick that everyone, it reminds me when I first started doing comedy where like my friends would come to the gigs and stuff. You know what I mean? I think sometimes it's weird with London because a lot of the shows like that in London, there's not as many at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
there's not as many as those kind of shows. And I guess sometimes it's weird because with London, everyone knows each other. If I'm completely honest,
really,
everyone knows each other. So it's like like a little clique almost. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you know, people don't really need their friends and family to come because when you go, you're gonna see someone else there, you know. And the networking is like, yeah, man, I got this show here or I got this show there and stuff. I guess with Manchester, there's not always as many shows, so you know what I mean. Like that, I can see why people would bring more people to a show because they're like, look, there isn't as many shows. So I beg you, come here. Does that make sense? You know? You know what I mean? So yeah.
What advice would you give to like people from Manchester or up north or wherever coming up?
I think that, man. I think it's one of them things where it's just like, you know, like if you're performing in one part of the country, explore it. Do you know what I mean? Like, go to Birmingham, go Manchester for shows and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, as long as you can get some kind of, if you can get travel money, yeah, cool. You know, if not, to say, you know what, you have to invest in yourself. You know, that's one thing that's massive, you know. Always invest in yourself. You know, you might not get paid, but you have to get that, you know, buy yourself a train ticket, perform at the show, maybe try and get a train back or stay the night and stuff. Yeah, it becomes expensive, but you don't know how one show can change your life. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, or get you a contact that is just like raw, like, you know, like, oh my gosh, like I've met this, I've done, you know, I'm a singer, I met this person who, you know, he does music as well and he's got a studio and stuff. I think that's what's really, really important, you know, is to really spread yourself out there. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very easy to kind of be within, you know, performing within your community. But I always say, like, you don't want to be the local person. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be that local. Yeah, man, he's good, bruv. He's from my road. He's from my state. I'm telling you, he's going to be the one. He's going far. You got to spread yourself out there, man. Just take yourself to other places. There's performances. Just, yeah, but you have to also invest in yourself as well. Do you know what I mean? If you make money from a show, try and put some of that money away and just, you know, put it into another show, maybe a train ticket. Maybe look at getting yourself, you know, a student rail card that can save you money. Getting a coach. Yeah, it's long. No one wants to be in a coach, but these are the things you have to do. If you really want it, you have to show that you want it. You can't be bougie in this thing, if I'm honest.
Yeah. How important is branding?
Branding is essential. Branding is so essential. You have to look at yourself as a brand. If you're going to get into this music, comedy, acting, you know, you have to look at yourself as a brand, how you portray yourself. You know what I mean? So if you're going to shows and, you know what I mean, you got the man them and you're let's say you're a singer and you're just rolling with a bag of goons, that doesn't look good for your brand. That doesn't look great for your brand. So you must always look at yourself as a brand. That is so essential. Do you know what I mean? From the way you talk to people, from the way you put out stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because just to say, because what? You've only got a small, you know, kind of fan base now, that can grow. And you know what I mean? Then you're like, oh, okay, cool. All right, safe. Do you know what I mean? So you always want to look at yourself as a brand. Do you know what I mean?
Obviously, you've been performing in Manchester. So basically, how I know Mo is basically, I started the show up north in Manchester, and Mo used to be the host for a show called The Lounge. What does that Manchester mean to you? How's it helped you? What is Manchester to you in it?
I think you know what it was with Manchester. It's like sometimes when you're in London, you're in this bubble. So the minute you perform in somewhere like Manchester, it's a different crowd who laugh at totally different things with a different perspective on life, which for you as a comic is so refreshing because you're not performing to the same people that you would normally perform to in London. You're like, bro, this is a different crowd, man. This is, you know, I think that's what's really important. Is what I've always liked when I've gone to Manchester. You know, some of the things that they find funny is not what they find as funny in London, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and one thing as well, you know, I remember being like, especially in comedy, you'd always, you know, sometimes you get comics that perform in Manchester and they say stuff like, oh, so what, you guys know what Oyster Cards is? Like, do you know where Brixton is? It's like, guys, it's Manchester. You're not in you're not in Texas, bruv. Like, it's only 4 hours away. Like, the world is a smaller place, isn't it? And I think you have to really, you know, whenever I've always gone to Manchester, yeah, I've always seen it as like, it's almost like another home. And I understand, you know, what they find funny, whether it's like, oh, you know, when you go Club Live and people say, oh, you know about Live, yeah? Oh, okay, cool. Or you say, oh, you know what it's like when you go to Arndale or Trafford. Oh, shit, he's talking about our places. People respect that stuff because then it says,
yeah, we do, man.
He cares about us. Do you know what I mean? Even when I mess about with the accents and joke around and stuff, you know, if people know you're doing it good, they're like, oh yeah, man, he gets sublime, man, because he knows it, innit? He's not just just taking it. He, like, that's where they're laughing with you and not at you. And I think that's really important when you perform outside of London. You know what I mean?
It's like we all love. We take you as an adopted Mancunian anyway. So we take you as an adopted Mancunian.
Nah, do you know what it is? Yeah, the love up north, yeah, is like, bruv, like, it's just like, it's got its own type of banter. I can't even explain it. like, it's got its own type of banter. You've got your own identity. Same with like Birmingham as well. Like, they have their own banter and identity. So when you perform there, you're already welcome. As long as you're not taking the piss, you're welcome. I remember the first show I done in Birmingham, yeah? I tried to do a Birmingham accent, innit? And I was like, oh, Birmingham? All right. I said something, innit?
Yeah.
Well, these people were looking at me in the front like, what? What are you talking about?
Not taking the piss.
What are you talking about, blood? You mean, what? Bruv, I said, nah. I need to fix that up.
Hey, yeah. You know what I'm going to say as well? Obviously, for people that, like, I work with, like, a lot of entertainers and stuff.
Yeah.
Some people only come to an event if they're performing. How important is it to come to an event, even if you're not performing? Like, did you used to network a lot?
Yeah, it's still important, man. You know, I remember when I first used to do comedy, I still go to other shows and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, try and, you know, network. Networking is so important, man. And network doesn't have to be like, I think people forget networking is, some people think networking is like, I've gone on Vistaprint, I've got a card, and I've given it to you. Hello, I'm Mo, I'm a comedian, take my card. That is the worst networking you can do. Like,
So
bruv, it's the worst networking. If you just get a card, what's going on, man? Yeah, man's a rapper, innit? Get me. What's your rap name? Get me the GBH1. What? What? That's my card. That's the worst networking you can do. The best networking you can do is maybe like, hey, what's going on, man? You a singer? Nice to meet you, man. My name's Justin. I do rapping as well. You know what I mean? If you ever want to collab and stuff, or, you know, rare tear, man, yeah, man. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be with a card, man. Do you know what I mean? Maybe just swap socials or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, but don't treat networking like, it's like someone just said, don't treat it like a one-night stand. And that's so true, man. Do you know what I mean? The people who I've met at shows and become friends with, and you know, we let's say we met on a networking, like, he was a comedian, I'm a comic, I'm not performing tonight. I'm saying, yo, bro, love your comic, man. Really funny. Sick, man. Nice to meet you, bro. Oh, cool, man. Well, listen, man, if I got any shows, I'll hit you up, man. Yeah, man, likewise. And that's how, bruv, some of my best friends today, that's how we've literally met, bruv. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like, don't use your card as your, how can I say, your representative. Don't do that. This is my business card, bruv. Yeah? Hit me up. What? Bruv, dash that card in the bin, man. That's not how you do that, man. This is not how you do it, man.
You know, one thing I'll say about you as well, what you've done is that no matter how big you've got, you've always still come to Manchester. And where it's not even, you don't even need the money. You just come out of love.
Nah, I like, bro. You see,
it's major, because some comedians, yeah, they get not even to nowhere near where you've got to, yeah, and they just start, the prices become crazy. They get on their own hype, innit? You know what I mean? But you've just never done that. I'll be like, oh, Mo, I need you to come down. Mo, can you come down? And you're like, yeah, I'll be there.
You know, for me, it's like, I generally just love performing as well. Like, I proper love doing stand-up. And for me, like, when I was performing, you know, there was a lot of cities like Birmingham, Manchester, Wolverhampton, Bristol. When I was my first early days, they were the audiences that would almost feel like they'd listen. Do you know what I mean? Like, and like, I wouldn't get treated as like, oh, bro, like, you're the new guy. Do you know what I mean? I'd feel like, oh, bro, like, cool, man. People remember me, or, do you know what I mean? Someone say, yeah, man, I've seen you before, man. You was at the show last month or something. Or I said, yeah, man, cool. So like, I always feel like indebted to perform at those major places that, you know, when I was first starting out, showed me a lot of love. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. People have grown with you.
Yeah, man. So that's why whenever you say, oh, boom, I've got a show, can you host it already? I said, yeah, cool, man. It's not a problem, man. Like, I'll make it happen. You know what I mean? So yeah, man.
Shameless promo, but the Lounge is like a comedy live music event in Manchester. Mo's been part of it from day one, and it involves just like a lot of talent from the UK, especially Manchester.
Yeah, no, the Lounge is, you know what I like about the Lounge, yeah? It's like a mix of a comedy show, a night out, and like a networking event. So it's like a mixture of all three of those things. So you got the comedy for the people who want to do the comedy. You got the people that are just there to network. Do you know what I mean? Yo, what's going on, mate? Yeah, mate, Manchester, mate. Like, do you know what I mean, mate? I got like my own, like, got my own chauffeur business, mate. If you ever want something, mate, hit me up, mate. So you got the people that's networking there, and then you also have, yeah, like, it's weird. Like, I think you got people that just want to come for a night out.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's something different.
The couples, the girls on the night out, the guys on the night out. That provides them something different. That's not just raving. Do you know what I mean? That's not just a brunch. It's something a little bit different. So you mix all those three kind of things in, and it's almost the perfect night out. You know, and I think the way where it's grown in Manchester, it's huge, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing is now is like seeing where it was from the start and where it is now. And I always say, like, you know, consistency is key. I've always said to you loads of times, bruv, just do your show, bruv.
Even because sometimes people come, it's like, are people going to
It's
turn
not
up?
150 people. Do you know what I mean?
Consistency, definitely. Now, obviously, you've done a lot in the last few years. Mentally, obviously, there's pros. Has there been any cons, like pressure-wise? Like, obviously, you get success, but sometimes it comes with its own issues.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I guess it's like, you got to remember, like, you're always putting yourself under pressure with this industry. Like, you're always under pressure. Do you know what I mean? The next video you're going to do, the next TV show you're going to do, you're always under pressure. But I guess for me, it's almost like I'm very much like, you know, I work hard and I work a lot.
Yeah, you work hard, man.
I have to take myself away from the work at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, I can't be 100 miles an hour trying to do work. So I think it's like you have to, like, it's hard because, you know, for me, I have to look back into hobbies that you're like, bro, what do I like? As opposed to doing comedy, what do I like? Boom. I like playing football with the guys. I like cycling sometimes. Sometimes I like DJing. To take my mind away from not being Mo, the comedian, Mo Gilligan all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, man. I think it's very important for your mental health, man. Find the things that you love that's not just, you got your thing. Everyone's creative and that's what they're good at. But there's things you might like. I know you might like juggling. Take up juggling again, man.
Juggling, you know. How important is your circle of people as well? Because obviously your team develops.
Yeah, no, major, man. Like, I always say I'm very lucky because I've got an amazing girlfriend that's always been by my side. I've got a great family. I've got good friends. People that tell me when, you know, like, how can I say, like, you know, when sometimes you need people to give you that, nah, big man, I wouldn't do that. Or, you know what, that's not really it. And I'll be honest, I don't feel like I've always had those moments, but I know they're the people that can put me back in line. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? Like, when I'm asking for honest opinions, I'm like, oh, cool. What did you think of, you know, the show last week? What do you think? Yeah, that was good, but that can change. Or, you know what's good when you've done that? And they're the people you need. And they're not yes men. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is major key. Yeah. Very important.
What you do not want is a bunch of yes men in your circle. Or yes women. Don't have these people, man. They're not beneficial to you.
Bring the shit down.
And I think, you know, the thing is sometimes with yes men, it's not sometimes, you know, I'm not saying like don't have yes men, because sometimes you need your friends to tell you the truth. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need your friends to tell you the truth. And having yes men, they will never correct you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You know, you need people who are around that says, oh, do you know what, Mo? Like, you know, what was really good is when you done that. You know, that was really good, man. Or what was really good is when you done that. That worked good, but you're really good at this. You know what I mean? So you definitely need to have those people around. And people that ain't negative people, don't have them around, man. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean lock them off. That just means, like, I just don't jam with you as much as I used to. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
All right,
you know
cool.
what I mean?
So what 3 attributes would you say you need to succeed?
3 attributes you need. 1, you have to be, like, strong-willed. Like, I don't know what kind of attribute that is. You just have to be, because you're going to want to give up more than you want to gonna keep going. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, man. It's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Like, you will have so many opportunities. You see the devil on your shoulder? It will be there more than the angel would be. Is the way I can explain it. You're going to have bare opportunities where you're like, do you know what? This is long. Let me just go and do more hours at retail because I get paid more. You're always going to get that opportunity. But even you know, you don't want to do that. So you need to be strong in it. Like, and some people say, well, how can I be strong in it? Everyone gets tested. Like, you'll get tested, and you'll know when you're getting tested, where you say, do you know what? Maybe this is the test, isn't it? And I need to see how I'm going to deal with it. You see what I'm saying? So that's always one. I think another one, another attribute I'd always say is be a nice person, man. Like, if you're not a nice person, work on yourself, man. Read some books. Ask people, hey man, is my attitude a bit rare to, you know what I mean? Like, but being a nice person, yeah, in this industry gets you a long way. I can't tell you how much being a nice person is. And when I say be a nice person, you can't fake it, innit? Do you see what I'm saying? Like being kind gets you a long way. Treat everyone with the same respect. Like the same that I like when we do TV, I bust joke with the runners like I bust joke with the person that owns the TV channel. Does that make sense? Like you treat everyone with the same respect. It's not like, yeah, big man, yeah, bounce now, bruv. Nah, bruv, you don't do that, man. You just don't do that, man. So it's very important to treat everyone that you meet with respect. You know what I mean? And when I say with respect, as I said, one, like you can't fake it, innit? So if you're not that kind of person, then just be quiet. like just be quiet. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's very, very important to just, yeah, man, is like, you know, being a nice person, being kind, it gets you a long way, bruv. Like I can't tell you how far it can get you. And I think the last attribute I'd always say, it's a tough one because I've got so many like I'm trying to think of at the same time. It's most probably, again, going back to looking yourself as a brand. You know what I mean? You have to look at yourself as a brand. It's really important. And yeah, like when you look at yourself as a brand, just because you can be big, you can be small, but you're always putting your brand out there. This is my brand of comedy. This is it. This is my brand. This is, you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why the biggest brands are so successful and you see them everywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, definitely, definitely. No, I hear you.
So, I hear you. Yeah, man. You have to see yourself as a brand. Don't think that you're too small to not see yourself, and make sure you're always representing your brand. Does that make sense as well?
Wherever you go,
you're always representing your brand. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you. Right. Last question for you. What would you tell Mo? What would you tell the younger Mo?
The younger Mo. It's tough because if I told myself the younger Mo, I don't know if I'd be here as the older Mo now. Does that make sense? But I think I'd say to the younger Mo, just like, I don't know, maybe just hey man, like keep going really. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe just keep going, like, because I think I put a way too much pressure on myself earlier on. Does that make sense? I put a lot of pressure on myself, being like, I need to be doing this show, then I need to be doing this show, and X, Y, Z. So yeah, I put way too much pressure on myself early on. Can you see me? Am I back now? Oh, cool. Yeah, just don't put so much pressure on yourself. There's no point. You know what I mean? Like the older you get, the better you are. You know.
I hear that one. I agree with that totally. You should not rush it, man, because if you rise quick, you'll fall quick.
That's it. That's literally it, bro.
I hear that. Yeah, Mo, that's everything, man. I think it's been very informative,
man. It's been a lot of fun, bro.
Enjoyed it,
it's been a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. So, flipping, what I'll do, I'll catch up with you anyway. Thanks to everyone for locking in.